Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to this Q&A video. I'm going to answer a lot of your questions today, but I'm going to do something different though. First of all, myself, I find sit-down videos pretty boring. And second of all, I haven't really had much time without any interruptions to sit down and talk to you. And so what I did is I just filmed a portion of my day, just doing regular things, homemaking, cleaning, and just babysitting and stuff. And I'm gonna put that in the background for you while I answer your questions through the voiceover. I hope you still enjoy it that way, and let me know in the comments if you actually prefer for me to talk to you face to face. We'll do that next time. But for now, I hope you enjoy. So let me put that kind of movie sort of for you, and I'll be talking to you through the voiceover. Okay? All right.
So the first question goes, I would love to know your story. When you moved to the US, how you and your hubby met? What work did you do before kids? What does your hubby do? Are you homeschooling or sending your kids to school? And do you have family in the area? I'm guessing most of you wanted to know my story, so I'm gonna start with that. I am from Russia. When I was 19, I went to England to learn some English. I stayed in England, in London, for about 3 years. Just living there and enjoying the beautiful, beautiful country and the city. About 3 years later, I went back to Russia, and then I went to America to live here, and this was my just American dream. I came to America many, many years ago when I was 24, and at first I ended up in the state of Georgia, but then I wasn't impressed much with the weather and stuff. I come from a cold country, so I visited different places. I loved Florida, but I ended up living in New Jersey because I just ended up loving the state, loving the people, loving everything about it. I lived in New Jersey for about 7 years, and then after getting out of a serious long-term relationship over there, I decided to actually move back to the state of Georgia. My sister lives here, and that was the only place down south I knew. And I had a new dream, which is buying any kind of place of my own, just working on my credit score and working 2 jobs down here to save for a down payment for my own place. That's all I wanted. And then if I would meet somebody, that would be great. But at that point in life, I just wanted to be a little bit independent, not independent, but not dependent on a man. I mean, like a boyfriend. Of course, if it was my husband, that would be different, but I didn't know if I was gonna get married then. May I mention that I had to start everything from scratch. It was a new chapter, completely new chapter in my life. I had to start my life over, basically. Anyway, I ended up working 2 jobs trying to save for a down payment for a house. In the morning, I would work in the office. It was a medical company, and I was doing some billing. And in the evening, I would do the deli at a Publix supermarket, and that's how I met my husband. He was my customer. For his lunch break at his work, he would come to the deli and was hoping to get a sandwich made by me, and that's how we got to talking. That answers your second question as to how we met. He asked me out in front of everybody at the deli, and I said yes, and the rest is history. We got married very fast, literally after a few months of knowing each other. I was in my early 30s right then, and we started having kids right away. We were madly in love. We still are. I never ever have dated anybody who I felt was my true soulmate, just like him. We fit magically, and of course we have our arguments, but anyway, I digress a little bit. Part of your question was, what work did I do before I had kids? I already mentioned the medical company and the deli, but apart from that, I did a bunch of waitressing, especially in London. That was my first job. And when I went to New Jersey, I also did a bunch of waitressing, especially at the beginning. But then I also worked office jobs a lot. I worked at a bank when I was back in Russia. I worked for different types of companies in New Jersey. I worked for a call center, medical call center, as a CSR. I'm not going to mention the name. I did some bookkeeping and just light accounting for another company, family owned. And I also worked for a CPA firm as a payroll accountant. I did graduate college back in Russia as an accountant years ago, but that was my only practice really, that CPA firm. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot to my story. It could take up the whole video, so I'm gonna try and keep it short. So what does my hubby do for a living is the next question. So he works for an IT company. He is technically in sales, but I guess he does a lot of extra stuff for the company as well. Your next question is, am I going to homeschool my kids? The answer is, for now we're planning to do public schooling, and we'll see down the road. I am not against homeschooling. I actually like it very much, so we don't know, but for now public schooling it is. Okay, the next question is, do we have any family in the area? I don't have anybody except for my sister, who lives about an hour and a half away, and she does come over to see me every other week for one afternoon, and that helps tremendously. As for my husband, on his side of the family, he's got a very big family, but his immediate family lives in Florida, and we are here in Georgia, the state of Georgia. He has a lot of uncles and relatives that also live in Georgia within about an hour distance, but we only see them every so often, on family functions, and they do come over as well for special occasions every once in a while. Anyways, I'm trying to look for the questions without reading every single comment, and you guys just are complimenting me so much, and that means so much to me. Thank you so much for all of your kind words. That means the world, seriously. It's you that make me want to pick up the camera and film my day every time, because we have been creating such a good, friendly community here, and it just feels right, so thank you so much for all of your kind words. So as I'm looking through the questions, there's a lot of similar questions, so I'm gonna try and skip to to find the one that sounds a little bit different, okay? There is a question, do you homeschool your children? No, they don't go to school yet, and they will go to public school for now. Also, any tips on potty training toddlers? I do have a tip, actually. The best way I ever tried was done by Big Little Feelings. If you Google that, there will be two ladies that will come up. They're experts on gentle parenting, but I might not agree with everything that they say, but potty training helped me with Max, and it went really smoothly. It's a 3-day training, but the results come mostly on day number 1, and you'll be amazed with just how helpful it is and how they answer every single question. I'll leave the link to that training under this video, and I believe it costs like $30 something. So if you're interested, it's worth every penny. It was to me. There's the question, how old were you when you had your first? Anya, I got pregnant at 33, and I had her, I think, at 33 or 34. Yeah, I started having children a little bit later in life, as soon as I met my husband, actually. There's the sweetest question, and it says, my question is, why are you so beautiful? I thank you. Thank you so much. That makes me smile from my heart. Thank you. What state do you live in? Love your vlogs. Thank you. We are in the state of Georgia. Another question, Alana, how is breastfeeding and pumping going? How long do you plan to do this? So right now for me, it's going really smoothly, not like at the beginning. My milk supply went way up. I have zero problems, and so right now I'm just enjoying the ride. It's the same. I breastfeed Alex physically, and I pump throughout the day for Nicholas because he does not latch, and I'm planning on breastfeeding them until they're at least 1 year old, and I don't mind going beyond that, just because right now I'm actually really truly enjoying this journey. There is no pressure, there are no problems. I've never done breastfeeding a baby 100% without any formula, and now I'm understanding what it's all about, and I'm at a place where I'm just happy doing it without experiencing any kind of negativity. But if it does take me to an unhappy place for whatever reason, I can just stop. There is no problem anymore, because Nicholas does not have reflux anymore. They're 7 months, his reflux is pretty much gone, and that was the main reason for me trying so hard to provide breast milk for him. Now, do you and your husband have a date night without the kids? That's a good question. Our date night is when the kids are in bed, and our date night is in the kitchen. If we wanted to really go out and make it special, we could, because we have a couple of people that actually offered us to watch all 4 of our kids in case we wanted to go out, and they keep, asking us. But at this point, we're more worried about when people think that they can watch all 4 kids. but they don't at the same time have experience watching for kids that are at the same time not your own, we're not really sure if we want to accept the offer unless it's later at night when the kids are in bed, but that also happens to be my bedtime. So I guess it's not our main priority right now to have a formal date. We are happy where we are. We are also understanding that we are in a very busy season right now. Of course, we could use more time for each other, but we are looking forward to more time in the future and just spending more time doing our things, just the two of us. And right now is the season for kitchen dating after the kids are in bed. But if we do decide that we need a formal date, we do have the opportunity to do so. I just wanted to be honest about it. The same person is asking if we have a family that live by, which I answered, and do twins run in your family? So I did not know that they did run on my side of the family until I had twins, but apparently so, yes. Hello, Jen. I would like to ask you, where did you learn to edit the videos? Thank you so much. I guess I'll take that as a compliment and just practicing, I guess, trying to figure out what would look natural and real. And I guess just cut out all the rest. That's my strategy so far. But also just watching what other vloggers do, and I never thought I would be any good at editing vlogging videos. I had no idea what to even do. So I just go with my gut instinct, to be honest with you. I watch a lot of vlogging videos. I also have started other channels before. I would say this is my channel number 5. I don't know. Not all of those channels were successful, so I gave up on those. And this channel was purely just an experiment, just to see if anybody would ever watch my videos. And you guys like the videos, obviously, so I'm gonna continue making those. Good question. Hi, do you and your husband want more kids in the future? I already had a question about that, so no, we don't. And also, do you ever feel burned out from taking care of your home and kids all the time? I feel like this one is a good question, because on camera it may look like I'm always doing something, because that's all I'm filming. Of course I get tired. This is such a huge house to take care of with 4 small kids. It's no joke. And I do get burnt out, and that's exactly what I know, that it is way past due time for my time off and just rest. That's when my husband comes to the rescue. I definitely do rely on him for everything. He's my shoulder to lean on. We are a team 100%. And we do give each other time off. This is why we have a special agreement, which not everybody might understand, but what we do that works for our family is Saturday afternoon is my me time. I do whatever I want, and Sunday afternoon is his me time. He does whatever he wants. It can be outside of the house, it doesn't matter. And evenings are family time on the weekends. I hope you have somebody to ask for help if you feel burned out. If I didn't have anybody to lean on, I would definitely prioritize putting the kids earlier to bed and then having my me time in the evening. The next question is from Maureen. Seeing this made me feel less alone in this journey. I have an 8-month-old, 3-year-old, and 2 teens. Some days I feel like I have it all together, and other days I struggle so much. You are doing so great with twins. I love how much land you have. It's amazing. We live in Florida, but hope to move to northern Georgia in a few years. We'll visit every year for vacation. My questions for Q&A, for a serious one: how do you cope with being spread so thin? I always feel so overwhelmed with being pulled in so many different directions. With so many kids and my husband, you seem to have a great balance. For a fun questions, I have two. What's your favorite quick and easy dinner, and what's your favorite diaper and wipe brand? First of all, if you are a mother or a homemaker, even if you don't have kids, just taking care of the house is overwhelming, and it is more than normal and more than common to feel overwhelmed. Please don't let social media to trick you into believing that some people just have it perfect and have all their ducks in a row and don't ever get overwhelmed. That's just not true. Everybody on social media shows their best side. If you have kids, or if you're a homemaker, just taking care of the house is not just a job. It's multiple jobs combined into one and called, oh, I am a homemaker, or I am a mother. It is 1,000 jobs, and and it is completely normal to feel overwhelmed. With that being said, of course I get overwhelmed, but at the same time I'd like to mention that I get less overwhelmed and than I used to before, especially when we first came from the hospital with 2 little babies, and I had to figure out a few things to make this journey just a little bit easy. Well, actually a lot easier, and it's nothing new, honestly. You would hear any mom with experience saying the same thing over and over again. To have your mind and your kids' minds in peace, it always helps to know what's coming. It helps to have routines for your kids, have the day planned out for yourself. I will talk about it in just a second. And what I find the most important is meal planning. But you mentioned that you were a mom to 4, so I imagine you probably do that one already. But just think how much time was spent trying to figure out what we're gonna feed our family, and then realizing that we haven't taken the meat out of our freezer, or we just have to run to the store for that one ingredient real quick. And it can be fun if you don't have a house full of hungry kids, but I also found that meal planning can be challenging at first, but it gets better so quickly. So anybody who has not tried meal planning but would love to, don't let that scare you. You will get the hang of it. I'm still not perfect at that, but I'm working on it every single day, and I've heard of people saying that it may take even 1 to 2 years to perfect your meal planning process, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to notice the difference as soon as you start meal planning for your family. We eat all day long, and if you happen to be in charge of everybody's food in your household, it's going to take up all of your energy, all of your time, all of your thoughts until you start doing meal planning. Before we had our twins, we had no schedules, no meal planning. Our kids went to bed at 9 o'clock. They go to bed at 7 now. So I had to rethink a lot to make it all work. I make meal planning a part of my weekly scheduling. Whenever I do schedule the time to sit down and have my week planned out and then break it up by days, and each single day I know exactly what I need to get done. Even if it's not going to get done, at least I know which direction I'm about to go. I find myself way better equipped to deal with my kids, to deal with any tantrums and being pulled in different directions. When it comes to time management and a weekly scheduling, there could be found a lot of ideas and help online on YouTube and just Google maybe. But for me, what worked was the YouTube channel. It's called But First Coffee, and I leave a link to that specific video in the description where she explains how she plans her week. So I found that specific way definitely works for my lifestyle, and that's how I have been planning my life for months now. And I also add a little section when she breaks it into days. I also add a little section for meal planning, and I decide which meals I'm gonna put on each, on what day. And if you watch that video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But then again, I'm so sorry that you feel overwhelmed, and this is definitely normal. If you have a spouse, I hope you get help from him, because I do look forward to my evenings when my husband gets home. Late afternoons are the hardest because your husband's gonna come home soon, and you just can't wait to get that break. Taking a break whenever I can is definitely an answer for me to get a reset and just keep on going with the day. And I know it's not new information, but if I don't get outside at least for 5 minutes a day, I don't mean take your kids and go for a walk. I just get outside by myself because I need silence, I need a little bit of sun and a little bit of fresh air. And that helps me just start the day right or reset myself if I need a reset or if I need a break, whatever it is, it always seems to help. As for the second part of your question, what is the quick and easy dinner idea for me? And there's a few, one for the whole family, one for just kids, one for just husband. For the whole family, I just do spaghetti with Rayo's sauce, which I buy from Costco, and I swear by it. I think it costs about $6 per glass, can, but we don't use it every day. It's only for situations when we absolutely have no time. I don't add any complications to it. It's pretty simple and very delicious. I'll leave the recipe in the description. It's basically just onion, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of Parmesan. I have added vegetables to it, and if it's a vegetable that your kids would not eat, like a zucchini, for example, something that doesn't taste very strong, I will blend it in the blender and then boil it with the sauce while I heat up the sauce for about 10 minutes. I heat up that vegetable with the sauce, and then you can't even notice. So as far as the kids, I always have chicken nuggets in my freezer. I always have broccoli in my freezer, which takes up about 5 minutes to throw into the microwave and have it done. I buy broccoli Kirkland brand from Costco. As far as the side, I always have frozen mashed potatoes, which I make and freeze myself. I freeze them by portions so that I take out a couple of portions, and it takes me about 10 minutes, I think 10 minutes to unfreeze them in the microwave. So that way the whole dinner is ready for your kids without you having to touch the stove. As far as something for my husband's favorite meal, really easy and quick, I always buy rotisserie chickens from Costco, which I then cut up in portions and freeze them by portions. And as well as peppers, sliced peppers, I also freeze those. Normally, I know that I'm going to make fajitas ahead of time, kind of, so I don't know if that's considered to be a quick dinner, but I would throw them on the counter to start unfreezing, and then I would heat them up on the frying pan, fry the chicken with the peppers and some freshly cut up onion, add some taco seasoning, and there he has his fajitas. We normally already have some tortillas, either frozen or fresh in our, pantry. The one more thing I started doing for lunch for the kids lately is whenever I don't have time to cook, I just take out any kind of leftovers or anything that they like or don't even like and cut it up and make it pretty on a plate. I make it a platter. I cut up fruits, vegetables. I may heat up a little bit of whatever we have left over in the fridge. I cut up bread, I cut up cheese, I cut up meats, whatever I have, I just make it look pretty. I even throw a little bit of olives on it, and I don't even bother to separate it into two plates. I give my kids a big platter and they love it. If it's cucumbers and tomatoes, I normally sprinkle a little bit of salt on it, and if there is some special sauce, I would also serve that as well so that I can dip their bread or whatever into it. I found that Anya sometimes would put veggie sauce on her cucumber. It looks so weird, but if they eat it, that's all that matters. I better hurry up because I'm taking too long to answer your question. So there's another one. It's hard to believe that twins are 7-month-old. They grew bigger overnight. Are they sleeping through the night? You need sleep. I can tell you're tired, at least in this video. Don't worry about leaving a mess. It's always waiting for you. So yes, the twins are sleeping through the night with one wake. I don't know if that's considered sleeping through the night. So yeah, I wake up once to feed them each. Of course, every once in a while there is something that goes wrong. One of them is teething, or I don't know, sometimes one of them is just not sleeping. So yes, not every night is perfect. So, and those nights I might look like I need some sleep, and my husband is always there by my side. He does help, but he does have a full-time job, so it's for the most part me, but I wouldn't be able to do it without him. He is a huge help. He does take over at night as well and helps me a lot. And sometimes we also assign each other to a twin. He's assigned to Nick because he's bottle fed, and I'm assigned to Alex because he's breastfed. So sometimes it makes it easier. Another question. Your house looks so big. Thank you. Do you have help with housekeeping? Also, your chicken stew looks so good. Will you share your recipe? Your plants look amazing. Thank you so much, Sharon, I guess. Yes, the house is very big comparing to our townhouse that we lived in a year ago. That's what I didn't know before moving to a bigger house, just how much more difficult it would be to take care of it. Not only for me, but for my husband as well, the grass mowing and everything. Unfortunately, I don't have help around the house, but I'm hoping I will handle it much better when the twins are maybe when they hit 1 year old. I hope that it will be just a little bit easier. Right now, I have to just learn how to do everything with one hand, but I do have priority areas around the house which I pay extra attention to, like the bathrooms. And now that the twins are almost crawling, I have started vacuuming way more than I did before. So some things are definitely a priority, and other things can wait. Just like you said, mess will always wait for you. Okay, there's 5 questions from one person. First, is your family complete or more kids in the future? No, our family is complete, no more kids. How did you and your hubby meet? So I just answered that. What does your hubby do for work? I answered that. He is in IT sales. Oh, I love this question. If you were not a stay-at-home superhero mom, what would your dream job be? I would continue pursuing working for some sort of CPA firm, I guess, as an accountant. If not that, then some sort of office job just to do with bookkeeping. And there is also an alternative to, of course, open up your own business. I don't know what I would do, but opening up your own little business always sounded like a good idea. Question number 5. I forgot where you were from. Russia? Yes, I am from Russia. But do you plan to take kids there soon, and are you teaching them to be bilingual? So unfortunately I cannot take them there soon due to the situation with Russia right now. I was getting ready to a couple of years ago. I already made passport for Anya, but then things happened. Life happened, Maxi was born, etc. I'm definitely hoping that the situation will improve maybe within a couple of years, and I will be able to take my kids to Russia, at least a couple of them. Am I teaching them to be bilingual? I would love to, but it's easier said than done, to be honest with you. There aren't that many Russians around them except for just me, and everything else is just in English, and it's hard to avoid that. It's hard. You have to go a few extra steps to make it more Russian around you. I guess it just depends on how important it is to you, how much you're willing to, just go the extra mile to make sure that they, have Russian friends, and it's not just you, because I'd love to, but it's easier for me to sometimes just say the thing in English, and I know that they will understand, rather than try and keep saying it in Russian and they will not understand, and there will be 1,000 more questions. What is mommy saying? I definitely want to just start speaking Russian with my twins at least, and maybe the other two will pick up. I'm hoping to. I would love to. The desire is there, but when it comes to practice, it's just easier said than done, I would say. Okay, next question. I love you and your precious family. Thank you. You inspire me every time I watch you. I am a mama to 3 girls ages 13, 10, and 5 months. They enjoy watching your videos with me. I don't know how you juggle it all. To me, you're a super mom. Thank you so much. Your home is beautiful as well. Thank you. My questions are, where are you from? Russia. Your accent is beautiful. Thank you. How old are you in your hubby, and how long have you been married? So I am actually 39 and my husband is younger than me. I think he's 35. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary. What state do we live in? We live in the state of Georgia. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much, April. I look forward to your videos. Thank you, April. So as I'm glancing through the questions, they're all pretty much what I already answered. A lot of questions are, kind of the same, but there is one Russian, so I think I'm gonna read it in Russian and then I'm gonna translate it into English and answer it in English, because I'm pretty sure those guys can have subtitles and understand what I'm saying. I'm hoping so, right? This question is a little bit different, so here it goes. Привет, малыши уже такие большие, доченька уже помощница, молодец, мамина радость. Вопрос, планируете ли вы заводить какую-либо живность, например, курочек? Да, планируем. Что планируете выращивать в теплице? Понятно, что с малышами планов не настроить, но все же. В будущем планы во дворе, либо ремонт в доме. Вы знаете оба, и планы во дворе, и ремонт в доме. У меня в основном сад-огород, а у мужа он хочет в доме все ремонтировать, я тоже, но у меня огород это на первом деле. Okay, so let this question be the last one. I'm going to translate it. The lady says that the twins are so big and my daughter is helping around the house. And her question is, are we planning to get any farm animals? And the answer is yes, chickens would be great. We would love some fresh eggs, and I would love some compost. I know that chickens are good for the garden, but that's of course a little bit more down the road when we feel a little bit less pressure on our shoulders with everything going on right now. And her second question is, I guess, are you going to prioritize working in the garden, or I guess fixing up the house in the future? And the answer is both. For me, the garden is way more important, and but I also look forward to repainting the house here and there. There's a lot of projects we're thinking of. My husband is more excited about the house, and garden is my happy place. And she also asked what was I going to grow in my garden, and for right now my priorities are 3 crops: cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers, and also strawberries. No, that's more like 5 crops or 6. It gets big really quickly. So just the basic vegetables for now, plus strawberries and some herbs, and then of course fruit trees I see in my future, but also trying to take 1 crop at a time since I am very new to gardening. Alright guys, I want to say this is it for today. I'm sorry there's a couple of questions I didn't get to, but there's always another time. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time. Alright, bye bye now.